is another sweltering hot day in Houston, Texas, but inside NRG Stadium, it is one of the most entertaining in prospect games of the group stage of the World Cup. It is Netherlands and it is Sweden. The last time the World Cup came to the United States, they both made deep runs. They were both eliminated by the eventual champions, Brazil. Netherlands bowing out to the Brazilians in the quarterfinals all those years ago, while Sweden lost to Brazil in the semifinals. They meet up today inside a jam-packed NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, as we welcome you to this very important Group F matchup between Netherlands and Sweden. The Group F standings through the first set of games in this group look like this. Sweden at the top after their 5-1 demolition of Tunisia, while Netherlands played a very entertaining 2-2 draw with Japan. So those two sit in the middle of Group F. You already see, of course, action from yesterday and a couple of days ago from Groups A, B, C, and D. Mexico have advanced to the round of 32. So too has the United States. Sweden could get there with a victory here today. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for these two European squads that each have high hopes. Once again, it is Bart Verbruggen in goal for the Netherlands. He comes from the Premier League where he started all 38 games with Brighton last year. It's a back four, which includes their captain, the number 4, Virgil van Dijk, who scored one of their 2 goals against Japan. In the midfield, Frenkie de Jong, flanked by Tiani Reinders, and to his right, Ryan Gravenberch. And then the 3 up front include Cody Gakpo, the Liverpool star, along with Brian Brobby, and on the right-hand side, Daniel Malen. For Sweden, Kristoffer Nordfeldt once again is in goal in his second World Cup for Sweden. He got the start against Tunisia about a week ago. He's in the lineup. A back 3 of the captain Lindelof, Hien, and Lagerbielke. In the midfield, you've got 5 that will space plenty of the field, and then the 2 up front, that partnership up front, terrific in their opener against Tunisia with Alexander Isak and Victor Gyökeres. 2, of course, that play in the Premier League at Liverpool and Arsenal. So those are your starting lineups, and we get ready to go here at NRG Stadium. As we say hello, one and all, I'm Matthew Owens, and welcome to Houston. Thanks for having us in. We certainly expect for what could be a very entertaining matchup here today between Netherlands and Sweden. We certainly hope it will be a high-paced kind of a matchup. Of course, Netherlands and Sweden played such an entertaining game, or Netherlands and Japan, rather, in Dallas, Texas, played such an entertaining game that ended 2-2. Perhaps we'll get some of the same here. Sweden ran away from Tunisia. We are ready for kickoff. Netherlands in their famous orange, Sweden in royal blue and yellow, and we kick off. Netherlands get us underway. And we are indeed underway on another day of World Cup action. Ball sent up the near side, out of play for a Dutch throw. Perhaps the best nation in FIFA World Cup history to have never won one of these things. You know the history well. Denzel Dumfries with a long throw into the right side of the penalty area. No one could get to it, and it's gone over the end line for what will be a goal kick. We'll introduce JT and Seth Eaves to you here shortly. They join us for coverage here today from H-Town. A goal kick for Kristoffer Nordfeldt, 36-year-old goalkeeper, as I mentioned, in his second World Cup, sends it long up the far side. Virgil van Dijk with the defensive header back the other way, out of play on the far side. It'll be a Sweden throw. You'll hear from JT and Seth throughout the day as well, as Sweden take the throw, and as I mentioned, in their royal blue shirts, yellow numbers, and faded yellow shorts. All the way back it goes to Nordfeldt, who sends it long up the near side. It gets hooked to the halfway line. Dumfries up with it there, sends it towards the middle, takes a deflection down. Daniel Malen sends it to the top of the box, where it's stripped away by Isak Hien, and he plays it up the near side, where it pinballs out of play for what will be a Sweden throw. As I mentioned, Sweden scored 5 against Tunisia. That led to the sacking of the Tunisian coach as the throw-in by Gabriel Gudmundsson comes in through traffic on the halfway line near side, and a Swedish player goes down. And we get a foul against the Netherlands. Those 5 goals were scored by 4 different goal scorers for Sweden, as the one that doubled up was Yassine Ayari in their 5-1 victory. That came in Guadalupe, Mexico, back 6 days ago. Played all the way back to Nordfeldt again. He will swing his left boot through it, long up the near side. A flick on by Isak, and it has dropped to a blue shirt, but play is blown dead as Sweden were offside. That partnership up front between Isak and Gyökeres has really gotten people very excited about what Sweden could very well do in this World Cup. This is, of course, a nation that made the final on home soil. Wasn't too long ago, just 1958, when they lost to Pele in Brazil in that final.
JT was -50.
Yeah, but they've made the quarterfinals or better in 7 of their 12 World Cup appearances. So this is a nation that knows how to make it out of the group stage and win some knockout games. Netherlands in control of the ball on the far side. And, of course, their, as I mentioned, very famous yellow shirts. As a ball over the top by Van Dijk, he was extremely accurate on passes against Japan. This one did not reach his intended target. And it goes out for a goal kick. Good defending by Isak Hien. Let's bring in Seth Eaves, who you just heard there for a moment. Seth anchoring our coverage today. But Seth, what do you expect from these 2 European nations in this very important second game in Group F?
First of all, you big dummy, Sweden's not wearing yellow, they're wearing blue. And then second of all...
Did I say they were wearing yellow?
You said they were wearing their classic yellow.
Oh, okay.
Clearly not the case. But anyway, we keep each other honest around here.
Yeah.
Secondly, I expect a lot of attacking. I mean, Graham Potter's teams like to attack. They also like to leave themselves vulnerable at the back. And the Dutch, well, total football is their DNA. And so I think we're in for quite a treat with this match. Well, I was disappointed in JT when you said Verbruggen and goal. I didn't get a see goals from JT. I mean, he's behind the program here.
Been with Brighton for a few years. Netherlands in possession off the near touchline. Denzel Dumfries sends it back. And Jan-Paul van Hecke will send it all the way back to the Brighton goalkeeper, who, as I mentioned, started all 38 of Brighton's Premier League games last season. Netherlands playing from the back here. It was a slow burn kind of a game that they played against Japan in Dallas a week ago tomorrow, but they've moved forward here quite well, and up the left flank, they're into the penalty area, and a ball set in front, and they've scored! And what a break that is for the Dutch, and they've scored very quickly here. And the Netherlands with breakthrough right at the 5-minute mark. It is a beautiful transition attack from the Dutch, and it's Brian Brobby who gets the goal. And Netherlands are ahead of Sweden. Brian Brobby, who scored 7 goals in the Premier League last year with Sunderland, has just his 2nd international goal. And again, it was so quick, over the top, and so well organized. And Netherlands are ahead, as Brobby has them out in front. 2nd international goal. Yeah, let the fun begin, indeed. 2nd international goal for Brobby. The only other one was against Bosnia and Herzegovina back in November of 2024. So he's waited about a year and a half to get number 2, and he's got it.
Person lost the ticket lottery, but he's winning life right now.
Here's Sweden on the ball. to restart play with Gabriel Gudmundsson. So Sweden chasing the game here. A team that, of course, didn't have any problems, as I mentioned, in their opener against Tunisia. They went ahead very early in the 7th minute through Yassine Ayari. And they try to get forward here. And for the right of the penalty area, shot turned on goal by Victor Gyökeres, and that's saved. And
if I may quote,
Sweden.
If I may quote a great old NFL announcer who's no longer with us, fasten your seatbelts, everybody.
Here's a Sweden corner coming from the far flag here. It'll be placed by Benjamin Nygren. And Nygren will play it short to the right of the penalty area, gets it back on a quick return, then plays it in tight, and it's Isak trying to curl one in. That was Gakpo defending, and it's banked off of Gakpo, and then Isak again, and out for what'll be a goal kick. So Netherlands in front early. But again, as we have talked about, a chance for these two teams to really attack early and often in this game, and we could very well get a very high-paced kind of a game. Offside on the build-up there, so a free kick for Netherlands from the left side of their own penalty area. It's sent long up the far side, flicked on towards the Swedish area where Lagerbielke gets to it. The 26-year-old from Stockholm sends it to Nordfeldt. Daisy gets in on the fun, providing her analysis as well. It's going to be an exciting game that transitions through multiple species today. Netherlands back in control. On it goes back to the goalkeeper from Brighton. Sends it long in towards the center circle. It missed everyone. Nudged on by the captain, Lindelof, who, of course, has played here, there, and everywhere. A lot of big clubs in his career. Pulled down was the goal scorer, Brobby. So it's a foul going against Sweden. Lindelof, in many ways, the heart, the soul, and the spine of this Swedish team. Plays now at Aston Villa after many years with Manchester United, making nearly 200 Premier League appearances with that iconic club. Here is Denzel Dumfries on the ball again for the Dutch, restarting play from the halfway line. Van Hecke, who also plays in England, does so at Tottenham. And he flares out wide to his right, sends it through traffic, deflects top right corner of the penalty area, and cutting in, Gravenberch tried to curl it back, up into the air from Gudmundsson. And Swedes able to clear their lines, only as far as Mickey van de Ven, speaking of Tottenham players. Turned on back for Van Dijk, into the circle, Frenkie de Jong. Looks to his right, Isak defends, flared out for Van Hecke, this direction for Gravenberch. Gravenberch in towards the middle. De Jong is 40 yards from goal. Skipped up the near touch line. And a recycle here for Holland from the halfway line. It's Van Hecke, who signed with Tottenham just a couple of days ago. Made that signing official on Thursday. Played up the left-hand side. Sweden's there defensively to win the ball back. All the way back it goes to Nordfeldt. He'll play it on the ground to his right. Lagerbielke tried to flip it long. It banks out a play off of Brobby, the goal scorer. As we are 10 minutes in to this Group F encounter between Netherlands and Sweden, and already an explosive start. Sweden have a throw-in deep in their own territory. Tossed in where Gakpo headed it down. It came back to Gyökeres. Netherlands control now in the orange, with the black shorts and dark numbers. Some people say those numbers on the back are black. Others say it's very dark blue. Either way, it's Dumfries up the near side, playing it on back to Van Hecke, then to the halfway line. Once more out wide to the right is Dumfries. Dumfries up this near touchline, progressing forward towards the final third. They've had definitely the majority of possession here early. Sweden's barely had the ball slip through. Daniel Malin sends a cross back to the back post. Good shape to it, but in the end, easily handled by Nordfeldt. And Sweden will control here. Nordfeldt will punt it long, right-footed up the middle of the field. Drops down to Van Dijk, who was able to flip it forward, and Frankie de Jong can bring it ahead. And here come the Netherlands back up with it. Dumfries up the right-hand side, serves the ball in towards the back post, and it was more dangerous than it looked initially, as Gakpo was the target making a run on the far side. Sweden defended out on the far flank, and it'll be a corner for Netherlands again. Gakpo making that sneaky run on the left side, and it didn't look like Sweden understood early how malicious that attack could be. You see the favorite star of the channel now. She just won it up here. Yes, you did. Corner coming from the far flag as Nordfeldt gets his defense set. She might be. From the near flag, an in-swinger. Thunderous header away by Yorkerez, who is very tall indeed. Out on the far side it goes. Yes, I know it. Do you need a hydration break? Still about 15 minutes away from that. A little bit less. I know it. Netherlands on the throw-in far side. Yes. I know, you're so excited because of all the colors. Here's the throw-in from the left of the penalty area. At the end line, it's lifted up and out of play. It'll be a goal kick. Yes, it's a goal kick. Yeah, what do you think about Graham Potter? What's your thoughts? I know. He's a good one. He is the coach of Sweden now, the blue and yellow. As played out of the back by Nordfeldt. Sent this way for Gabriel Gudmundsson. He cranks it up the left-hand side where it pinballs to the halfway line. Who's going to control it? It'll be the orange. Here comes Gravenberch, flipping that ball diagonally. Did not get it to a yellow shirt instead, or an orange shirt. Instead, it comes down to Frankie de Jong. And Netherlands can restart with Gakpo. Cody Gakpo scored 7 times in the Premier League last season with Liverpool. He's had great success with Liverpool since joining them in 2023. He had 3 goals in the World Cup 4 years ago, did Gakpo. Worked back around this way for Dumfries. Near touchline is Daniel Malen. Malen played on back to Gravenberch. Gravenberch takes a step up the middle on his right foot, looks for space, tries to serve it in, deflected back to him, then he headed it to the right side of the penalty area where it's controlled, perhaps in an offside position. Sweden calling for it. Finally, that flag does go up.
Guys, I found the soundboard. That's what you heard. That was a golf clap noise I just played, if you heard it.
Yes, was wondering where that came from. Thank you.
By the way, you know what they could call Virgil van Dijk?
But it's the cocky Dutchman who still gets the top.
Well, indeed. They very well could call him that. Sweden look to progress forward in their royal blue shirts, yellow numbers, faded yellow shorts, and blue socks. They attack from our right to our left. We're in the 15th minute.
You know, Matthew was playing with his dog. JT played with his toys. I was feeling left out.
Netherlands with a takeaway into the penalty area from the left. It pinballs off bodies on a shot attempt by Tiani Reinders. It'll be a goal kick.
Oh, Lord. You know what you could say, Matthew, about Ultimate Sports Media? It's gone to the dogs.
There you go. Here is Nordfeldt on the goal kick for Sweden. We played a quarter of an hour. Netherlands up a goal through Brian Brobby. And now the referee has taken the ball away from Nordfeldt.
Oh, flung that sucker.
I was wondering if it said that he took too much time, but now they've said it's a free kick that I don't know what the difference is, but anyway. Free kick is flared up the far side. It goes out of play. Netherlands have a throw-in. And they take it in their own half, and they'll start once again. Here is Jan-Paul van Hecke. Rolled up the middle. Spinning away from one Swedish defender was Wout Weghorst, and up the far side it comes to Mickey van de Ven. They are right back on the attack. Here's Gravenberg. Flared out to his right. Daniel Malen sends it out wide on the right-hand side. Dumfries plays it in front, and it's another chance! And it's another goal, and Netherlands have two, and it's Brobby with both of them! And the Dutch double their lead. Brian Brobby's got it again! 2-0 to Holland.
This looks better than their last game in Texas a few days ago.
Oh, and it was a slow burn against Japan in Dallas. Took a while for the game to liven up, but it certainly did. But they have come out firing early. That's a great ball across by Dumfries on the deck for Brobby to go get, which he did. Might have gotten just the slightest of touches to it. And Netherlands are 2-0 ahead inside 20 minutes. Sweden restart play. And after controlling every aspect of their opener against a very outclassed Tunisian squad, Sweden's going to have to come from multiple goals behind here. Played back to Christopher Nordfeldt. And high press from Netherlands forces Nordfeldt to get it off on the near side. Gudmundsson will throw in after it was deflected back away. Thrown back to Lindelof, and then it comes for Nordfeldt again. So Sweden chasing this game, and they've got a lot of heavy lifting to do to get back into it. But it's a great start for Netherlands. Long ball sent up the middle in the direction of Gyökeres. Kept away from him. Far side De Jong just got shoved down. That's a foul going against Sweden. The free kick taken quickly. In their own penalty area, Jan-Paul van Hecke gets it back on a quick return from Dumfries, playing in another World Cup as Dumfries. He had 2 goals in qualifying, scored a knockout round goal against the United States 4 years ago in the round of 16. Here he is on this near flank at the halfway line. Looks for options to his left and directs it that way to Van Hecke. Van Hecke off to the left of the center circle. At the halfway line, once again this direction. Dumfries.
That was regarding Dumfries scoring against the United States, by the way.
Yes, thank you. Here's De Jong for Dumfries again. Halfway line is Van Hecke. Into the circle. Drops it off to Virgil van Dijk, the Dutch captain. What a great player he has become. 2-time Premier League champion. He's a winner of the European Cup. He captains this Dutch team. Here's a ball finessed on the right-hand side. Gravenberg looks to his right, now cuts to his left. Directs it out wide on the right-hand side. Daniel Malen loses it. Taken away by Lindelof, who is patrolling in the back. Sweden look to clear their lines. They do, as it's lifted out on the near side. Van Dijk will safely play it back to the goalkeeper as we work the 20th minute. He puts some pressure, but it's slid on out to Van Hecke. And a restart for the Orange Army, and there is tons of orange that's made their way into NRG Stadium in Houston today. Very hot day outside, not nearly as hot as it was last Sunday here before Germany played Curacao, where temperatures were in the high 90s, but still a warm day in the high 80s, but inside the closed roof of the stadium here, it is a terrific atmosphere, as it always is anytime the Dutch are involved. Sweden win a throw-in on the far side, where it's tossed in and played in towards the middle. They've turned it right back over to Van Dijk. Now De Jong. Sweden just can't get control of the ball and keep it here in these opening 20 minutes. Bit of a lazy back pass by De Jong, but Van Dijk got it, and then he shoots it up the middle, taken away on a sliding tackle by Lindelof. Here comes Sweden the other direction. The royal blue and yellow moving forward, and play will carry on. No, it won't. Dumfries collided into Benjamin Nygren.
Well, this is worst case scenario for Sweden. I mean, you haven't done that much attacking, and your defense is still being left gaps at the back by this very explosive Dutch team.
Netherlands get play restarted quickly, but there's immediately a foul committed by Gustav Lagerbielke. Be a free kick for Netherlands, about 45 yards from goal, right of center. Inside right channel. Chance to serve a ball into the penalty area if they choose to. It's De Jong that is over it, and he will instead play it out wide on the left-hand side. From the top left corner of the box, ball served in. Lindelof, defensive header into the sky. Hooked right back in. Header up by Hien. Climbing to it and getting it to the top of the box. Van Dijk nudged it back in the direction of Dumfries. Sweden able to clear out. We've got a whistle to stop play and a foul going against Sweden. We are closing in on our first hydration break of the match as we work the 23rd minute now in Houston. 2-goal lead for the Netherlands. Brian Brobby has them both.
I think we're getting the break right here.
And we are going to get it. So, first hydration break of the match. Seth, tell us what else is happening today in World Cup action on this June Saturday.
Yeah, glad you asked. A big day as usual, as every World Cup day, at least the group stage is. Three more matches to bet today. You'll like, well, Matthew turned his mic. I will say you'll like what I've dubbed this one, Matthew, because only you'll get it, but more on that later. At 4 o'clock, the action shifts to Toronto for Germany. Their second match against Cote d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, stealing one late against Ecuador. That should be a good one, Germany and Ivory Coast. Then at 8 o'clock, prime time in Kansas City, Ecuador and Curacao. And then finally at midnight, or as I like to call it, again, only Matthew would get perhaps get the reference. I give it the big Monday slot of 11:59 p.m. Tunisia versus Japan, and that should be an interesting one. The other match in this group, Tunisia, of course, under new management after giving up 5 to Sweden on last Sunday night. Japan getting that draw against the Dutch. Should be a most interesting encounter. Today should be another interesting day of World Cup action, and one way or another, hopefully, yours truly, Jared, but no, I'm just kidding. Yours truly, Seth Eaves, will be on Tunisia and Japan. How dare I forgot to mention where that game will be played at. That game is going to be played in Guadalupe. Matthew. JT Waffles.
All right, so that is what is to come later in the day in World Cup.
Did you hear? If you heard me, did you like me? Big Monday slot, 11:59 p.m.
Oh yes, absolutely.
To avoid confusion.
So, as we have documented poor start for Sweden, and a hydration break well timed for them, I'm sure, to try to just get themselves back with steady footing.
Sweden's defense.
All out of whack. And then he said all out of crack. I was like...
Guys, I'm just trying to work out what is next to the NRG Stadium, what is behind NRG Stadium. You look at it there, because I didn't realise that the Caesars mini drone was in Houston.
No, it's not quite that. It was once called the 8th wonder of the world, the Houston Astrodome, which is basically condemned now, but was quite the building back in its day in the 70s and 80s.
Oh,
Caesar's mini dome, because it looks like the Superdome. Yeah, nice.
As many historic sporting events happen in the Astrodome. As play restarts, goal kick by Kristoffer Nordfeldt, the Swedish goalkeeper, sends it long from our right to our left. It was in the direction of Alexander Bernhardsson, kept away from him, but it does come to Jesper Karlsson. And Sweden now finally with some possession in the final third. Nygren played it off, gets it on a return right of the penalty area, tried to cross in. Dutch defense is there. It's looped on out. Restarted by Ayari. Inside right channel, Karlstrom sends it to the far touchline. The return comes from Ayari, and his cross blocked out of play. It goes out just by the corner flag, but not over the end line, so it'll be a throw-in for Sweden. So just past the midway point of this first half. It looked like Sweden thought they had gotten themselves a corner. No, it'll be a throw-in. Gabriel Gudmundsson is going to charge forward here. He's going to make a very long, high throw towards the right side of the 6-yard box, and it was flicked on, and out of the air, Karlstrom tried to volley it goalward. It was blocked. And some appeals for handball, I think, from some of the Swedes. Victor Lindelof in a bit of pain afterwards. He might have, he got it to the face, as he was the one that it went off of. Mentioned Brian Brobby had just one goal for the national team of Netherlands before this World Cup. 2 inside the first 20 minutes today, 5th and 17th minute goals, as they have given that second goal to him. It wasn't the heaviest of touches, but he got just enough on it to direct it in past Nordfeldt. Oh, an XG graphic coming up on the world feed. So they've gotten 2 goals. They've only expected to score half of one, though.
We love the analytics around here.
Cody Gakpo up the left-hand side, cuts towards the inside far channel. Now gets it back into the middle. Van Hecke, 40 yards from goal, 35 yards from goal up the middle, tried to crank one back to Gakpo on the left-hand side. It took a deflection, taken away by the Swedish defense, but the outlet could not be handled by any of the targets, Nygren or Gyökeres, and the Dutch will start again with it. Here is Gakpo up the left-hand side. He takes on Lagerbielke. Gakpo from the left side of the penalty area, turns back, pulls up and hands it off for De Jong. Frankie De Jong into the middle. Van Hecke charging right up the gut. Tried to slam one to the right-hand side. It was blocked, and here come Sweden the other way. Isak, that's perhaps his first touch, and he feeds it to Gyökeres, who gets it for the left of the penalty area, turns it in, and it could not be settled by Yassine Ayari, and it just goes off his chest and out for a goal kick. That was a golden Swedish opportunity there. And just hung up on Ayari right off his chest and wide of Verbruggen. Ayari, as mentioned, had 2 of their 5 against Tunisia. Working the 30th minute, Verbruggen sends it out to his right, and the Dutch will start the pilgrimage back up the field again from our left to our right at the feet of Van Dijk. Out to his right once again, Van Hecke will return for Van Dijk, creeping towards the center circle. Now flexes it out to his left. Van de Ven up the far side, looking for Gakpo, who had it ripped away. He thought he was fouled. They play on. And Sweden get in possession here, and they haven't had much of that early. Ayari sends it back. Nordfeldt has it here. The number on possession that I've been given is 62% possession to the Dutch. It was 60% last Sunday in Dallas against Japan. Twirled up the left-hand side by Isak, who gets it back, and now a good forward ball up the left-hand side. Nygren plays it in, defended away by the Dutch defense, which was well placed again. Out on the near side from Van de Ven. It'll be a Sweden throw. We've played half an hour. 2-0 Netherlands in front. Gudmundsson throws it in to Lindelof in his second World Cup. He played for Sweden in 2018. They did not make it 4 years ago. Into the area from the left, Nygren has once again the Dutch defense all over him, and in the end, a spoiled opportunity. So half an hour in here at NRG Stadium in Houston, and Brian Brobby has Holland ahead 2-0. They'll start forward again from our left to our right. Here's Virgil van Dijk patrolling in the middle. Played on back to his center back partner Van Hecke. Now Van Dijk with it once again. Very deliberate with every touch that he has of the ball. Up the far side it comes. Cycled on back to De Jong. This direction for Van Hecke. Van Hecke rolls it up the middle, gets it on a quick one-touch feedback to him from Gravenberch. Far touchline in their own half. Now forced on back to Verbruggen. Swedes trying to push them back a bit. We saw that a lot with Australia yesterday, and the United States took advantage a couple of times. Ball out of play on the far side off of Lagerbielke, who scored a goal in qualifying against Poland. And Netherlands will have a throw. And it'll eventually be thrown in on the far side. I suppose once everyone's ready for it to be thrown in on the far side. Finally it is in. Robbie heads it up and out of play. So now Sweden will have a throw. And they've given it right back away. Robbie has flipped the ball forward.
Well, this is the home of C.J. Stroud,
Yeah,
so...
Well, indeed. Lindelof turns it back to Nordfeldt. And Sweden will start forward as they really need to grow into this game because it has been a poor start. They've barely held any of the ball after dominating against what many people think the punching bag of this group, Tunisia. Isak, though, has poked it forward. Gyökeres is into the area from the right, and once again, Jan-Paul Van Hecke is back there defensively, and he is a menace, and it can only softly be rolled on goal, easily taken by Verbruggen.
Now, quickly, Matthew, did you say Van Hecke just signed? He's the one who just signed with Tottenham, correct?
Yes, on Thursday.
Get ready to see that battle a little bit more than just once. Yeah. Van Hecke and Gyökeres.
Yes. And Van Hecke has been terrific here early on the back line for the Netherlands as they now try to get into the attacking half. Gakpo on that far side looming large. Turned on back to the halfway line for De Jong. He's left of the circle. Sends it across the circle this way. Here is Van Hecke wearing the number 6. Puts it back into the center of the circle for De Jong. Charging forward. Outside cut on the defensive Karlstrom. Flexed it out on the far side. Handled by Gakpo. Return for De Jong again. De Jong inside left channel. 40 yards from goal. Puts his back to his Swedish defender. That's Karlstrom, who pressed. Back to Van Dijk. Then on the left side out wide. Handled by Gakpo. Return for Van Dijk. Dutch just probing here as we enter into the 35th minute. Zigging and zagging is De Jong before he hands it back off for Van Dijk. Twirled back for Gakpo. Van Dijk has it once again. Two Liverpool teammates play catch. Van Dijk starts to reverse it a bit. Frankie de Jong plays in Spain at Barcelona. Out to his right for Van Hecke. As we said, signed with Tottenham on Thursday after playing since 2022 with Brighton. Ball over the top. Making a run at it was Malen. Went airborne but could not get a touch to it. And that's how that Dutch attack will come to an end. Not a bad idea, though, as Daniel Malen went right down the middle. Sweden again will try to move forward. Mentioned the goal that Lagerbielke scored in qualifying against Poland. That was in Path B of the second round of qualifying. They beat Poland 3-2 in that game to make it to the World Cup for the 13th time in their nation's history and first since 2018, where in Russia they did make the quarterfinals. Played extremely well in that tournament. Should have beaten Germany. We all know how that game ended. As off the Dutch throw in, Sweden have relocated the ball.
Scores!
Here at the halfway line is Lindelof. Left of the circle. Plays it in towards the middle. Gyökeres plays catch with Isak. Alexander Isak, who played in just 14 Premier League games last year but had 3 goals for Liverpool. Out to the right-hand side for Bernhardsson. Drop for Karlstrom. Karlstrom then turned it on back to the halfway line. They'll reload here. Dutch are charging towards Lindelof, who sends it up the middle. A one-touch flip by Gyökeres. Now it's up the middle, Isak. Edge of the D. Back to Gyökeres, whose shot on goal is punched away by Verbruggen. A solid save. Comes out to the right side. Bernhardsson with a left-footed cross. De Jong with a defensive header away. Comes back on the far touchline. Bernhardsson gets it again. Touches it on back, and it's all the way to the halfway line. That's better from Sweden. Got that 1-2 punch up top, too, between Gyökeres and Isak. And then also you throw in a couple of other really talented midfielders, but the Dutch have won the ball back and ended that Swedish attack as Dumfries plays it safely to the back line and Van Dijk. Isak had a goal against Tunisia. He was voted player of the match, despite Ayari scoring 2 goals. Gyökeres also had 1. That trio combined for 4 of their 5. De Jong up the left-hand side now, trying to charge forward for the Dutch, and he has. He's played it up the left-hand side, and the Netherlands could be in here. Left of the penalty area, ball is scraped in, defended away by Lindelof. On the far touchline, Nygren trying to get an angle to clear it further, but he hasn't, and Gakpo from the top left corner of the penalty area tried to split through 2. Lagerbielke held his ground. Netherlands still in possession. Gravenberch to the edge of the D. Reinders flared out to his right. Malen steps into the area, serves a ball into the back post, not really particularly close to an orange shirt. Headed away 35 yards from goal. Spinning back with it is Gravenberch. Out to his left De Jong. Flared that way Van de Ven. Then Gakpo from the left of the penalty area takes on Bernhardsson. Edge of the area, a long right-footed attack towards goal is smothered and held by Nordfeldt, as Gakpo puts a shot on goal for the first time.
Hit, not a bad hit. Again, Sweden leaving spaces.
Well, Sweden, again, the step up in competition cannot be overstated when you go from Tunisia to Netherlands. No disrespect to the Tunisians. We all know that to be true, though. Lagerbielke struggling to get it cleared up the far side. A couple of high headers, but an orange shirt gets on it, and in the circle it's Van Hecke. Van Dijk sends it up the left-hand side. They will start again. And they have been very lethal so far in this first half. 2 goals from Brobby inside 20 minutes. Up the middle, they get on the attack once again with De Jong. Looks out to his left, directs it that way. Reinders leaves it left of the penalty area. This is Gakpo, explosive first cut. Gakpo's ball in, and oh boy, would have had a free header from Dumfries who went airborne, but it was just over his head. Sweden attempting to clear with Isak, struggling to do so. The Dutch are everywhere right now. It feels like there's 13 of them on the field. Sweden a turnover into the area from the right. It's Malen with a lot of open space, sends it across the face of goal, and he's missed the far post. Terrible Sweden turnover, and what an opportunity for Daniel Malen. That could have been 3. Comment section, Plug is with us. Pierre Moss is with us, our good friend Pierre. Says Netherlands are rolling.
Sure, Pierre, did Pierre go to the parade on Thursday?
Like everyone went to the parade on Thursday. Sweden,
yeah, I think so.
With the ball here. Gudmundsson, parade day in Raleigh today for the Stanley Cup champions. Isak turns it up the far side. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of this first half. Sweden could really do with some momentum to take into the dressing room with them. Even if they don't get a goal, they could use some positive momentum. Here's Lindelof at the halfway line, in towards the Dutch half to our left. Left-footed rolled ball up the middle. Isak has touched it on to Ayari, edge of the D, and his shot blazed over the bar. Oh, he hasn't missed it by a lot. Yassine Ayari going for his 3rd of the World Cup with Sweden's best chance so far.
Well, that's the threat they can pose.
Oh. And I mean, look out in rows 6 through 12 back there behind Verbruggen. It was coming right at him. It's a terrific opportunity from Ayari. So they have picked up the play a bit. Ayari with an attempt at goal right there that wasn't a million miles away. A few minutes before that, Gyökeres forced a save out of Verbruggen. So Sweden are growing into it just a bit. But Netherlands are very stubborn and not wanting to get rid of the ball. They've, again, had more than 60% of possession to this point. Van Hecke in the midfield, back to Van Dijk. And Van Dijk with a one-touch feed up the left-hand side. They'll start forward again here. Here is Van Hecke. 3 goals in the Premier League last season with Brighton. Cuts it back against the grain for Van Dijk, waiting for it at the halfway line, left-hand side. Forwarded ball for Van de Ven, then up the left-hand side for Gakpo. Return comes for Van de Ven. Sweden starting to press a little bit more defensively. They want this ball back, but right now the Dutch doing a good job keeping it. De Jong with a button hook, then a double twirl from left to right. Gets it back on a quick return from Tiani Reinders. Into the middle for Gravenberch. He lost the handle, but it could be covered up by Dumfries on the near side. Those two play catch on this right touch line. Gravenberch, once more for Dumfries. Reverse to the halfway line, Van Hecke. Van Hecke lays it out laterally to his left. Van Dijk is there, just looking for a seam. Holds and then gives for Van Hecke again. Progressing up the right-hand side. Played it between 2 defenders for Malen. Explosive run up the right-hand side. Malen has got this on. Dumfries ball in. Took a deflection off of Gudmundsson and diving out to smother it is Nordfeldt. What is JT's prediction for stoppage time? He's always right. See what JT has for us. Here's Gudmundsson, meanwhile, up the left-hand side. He is galloping forward like a gazelle. He runs into Dutch territory and then gets pulled from behind and brought down by Gravenberch. That is a foul.
Yes.
And it will be a free kick. Go ahead, Seth.
I'm going to go 5.
Okay. Free kick for Sweden from a dangerous area, perhaps. See, JT currently has a 100% record going right now on guessing stoppage time.
Is this pick segment brought to you by Sprite Tea?
Free kick for Sweden. Dangerous area here, as over the ball is Benjamin Nygren. And they've got tall targets to put it into, and they have, and it's turned in by Lager Bielka. He's one of those big targets in the back, and he's headed it through to get Sweden on the board. But hold everything. Swedish fans ignite with celebration, but I don't believe it's going to hold up.
Ooh, that kid might have just said a word he's not supposed to be saying.
It's a great ball by Nygren, but they're just marginally offside. Multiple of them are just offside there, and that's such a difficult play to stay onside. It's a great ball in by Nygren. Lager Bielka gets on the end of it. Heads it past Verbruggen, but it's not going to hold up. And that will keep us where we're at 2-0. Sweden thought they had cut the deficit in half.
That really is a shame for Sweden. That was a good ball. All right, let's see. Survey says...
As we complete
4.
the 45, it is 4 minutes that has been added on.
So I was off. JT must not like me or something, because he must not like us because he's ignoring us. So he didn't. I'm sure he would have guessed 4 if he'd answered.
All kind of button pressing. Left to the penalty area. Gakpo makes a good move towards the end line. Cuts it back. It's over everyone's head. Isak knotted it down. Up into the air from Gudmundsson. Back towards Isak, who gets climbed on top of by Van Hecke. Out of play on the near side for a Swedish throw. Gudmundsson on the throw-in. Lager Bielka comes the other way. Grounds the ball up the middle. Dutch defense nearly took it away. Instead, Gudmundsson has it once again. Born in the big city of Malmo. Drop back to Lindelof. Up towards the middle, Nygren, who had that great ball in on the free kick that he had thought he had assisted on a goal. Now up the middle, they found some space here. Karlstrom, inside right channel, makes a cut to his left. He's right up the middle. He leaves it forward. It's touched onto Ayari, who runs into a brick wall known as Denzel Dumfries. Down goes Ayari, just outside the penalty area. That's a foul, and another free kick from perhaps a dangerous place for Sweden. This a bit closer. Might be a bit too close, really. But nonetheless, set-piece opportunity as Ayari got knocked down by Dumfries. This one, again, is in tighter towards the edge of the penalty area, so you could see it be a bit more difficult to get a ball shaped in. You're going to have 5 standing in the Dutch wall, and then, of course, the plank at the bottom. Halfway through the 4 minutes that were added on, as you see. This is going to be difficult to get this ball up over the wall and then back down again from this close. This is quite literally a yard, maybe 2 outside the penalty area. Victor Gyökeres is over it. See what magic he can conjure up here. Waiting for the referee's whistle. Got a load of bodies in front of Gyökeres and Nygren. It's Gyökeres right-footed, and a great save by Verbruggen. Oh, he got that on target. And Verbruggen with a terrific save as he punches it out. Leaks out on the far side for what will be a Sweden throw as we approach the final minute. Oh, that's a marvelous strike by Gyökeres. There's real talent on this Sweden team. It's a long throw-in from the far side in the direction of Isak. Headed up and away by De Jong. Comes back out to the edge of the area for a shot off target from Nygren to Verbruggen's left. That will probably be just about it for any Sweden attacks in this first half. But they did grow into this game well on the attacking side. They've got to do better defensively, as we've discussed, but they've gotten their feet underneath them here. Got a foul going against Van Dijk off the restart. So Sweden are going to have a free kick to maybe get into the final third here before the half ends. It only has a few seconds left in it. It's quickly played up the right-hand side, top right corner of the box. Handling is Bernhardsson. Around 2 Dutch defenders. It's taken away. And that is the Dutch defense that we've seen throughout this first half. It's rolled towards the center circle. Karlstrom twisted it back the other direction. Ayari has it, charges forward, tries to feed a ball to his left for Gyökeres. It took a couple of deflections, finally got to him. Into the area from the left. Gyökeres turns it back. Ayari a go! Oh boy, a strike towards goal and getting a right arm to it. Verbruggen parries it away. It'll be a corner for Sweden. There's still time left in this half, apparently, for them. Verbruggen's had to make quite a bit of saves here all of a sudden. He's made 4 in this first half. He only made 1 last Sunday against Japan. And that one looked like it was heading wide, but it kept curling in towards his near post. Had to dive out and make a save. This will be the last action of the half. Ayari from the near flag sends it in. Verbruggen gets an arm to it to knock it out of danger, and the halftime whistle blows. And we get to halftime in Houston with Netherlands up 2-0 on Sweden, both from Brian Brobby. One in the 5th minute, one in the 17th. Great build-up to both. 2 wonderfully worked goals by the Dutch to go ahead by a couple as we reach halftime here in one of the largest cities in the United States, Houston, Texas. Brobby has 2, doubling the total that he had in his Dutch international career coming in to this World Cup. But Sweden played better towards the end of the half. The last 12 or 15 minutes of that half is what Graham Potter wants to see more of for the blue and yellow. send it to Seth at halftime. Seth, it's the Dutch up a couple, but Sweden's starting to grow into the game for sure, and we could still have quite the second 45 on the way.
Yep. Stay put, because we'll get your thoughts on other things. Again, the Netherlands are 2-0 up, trying to get on the mark, while Sweden trying to make it 2 wins from 2. They do have work to do. In case you missed it yesterday, the United States booked their place in the round of 32 and won the group. They beat Paraguay 2-0. Then about 9 hours later, they found out they won the group after Paraguay's 1-0 win over Turkey. We did have our first 2 teams eliminated for the tournament yesterday, Turkey and Haiti. Haiti eliminated after a loss to Brazil. The other game yesterday, Morocco defeated Scotland by a 1-0. This, of course, the first of a 4-match day again. And Matthew, you've had the first half. Your thoughts on what we saw between the orange and the yellow as you look at these, as you look at the group standings, and you'll see that the Netherlands, the live table shows that they are back top of Group F, of course, with the Japan and Tunisia match a little bit later tonight. But Matthew, thoughts on the first 45 in Houston?
I mean, yeah, it's gone about as well as it could have for the Dutch. I was waiting for that message in the background. Thank you, JT. Yes, it obviously a great start for Holland, but a lot of promising things that you saw from Sweden in, like I said, the last 15 minutes or so. First half hour was very poor. They really, they didn't even have much of the ball for the first 25-30 minutes, but it did feel like a little bit after that hydration break, that is what they needed to just regroup. And 8 shot attempts in the end in that first half, and 4 of them were on target, so they're forcing some saves from Bart Verbruggen, who again only made 1 in 3 attempts on goal against Japan last Sunday. So he's played better in goal, Verbruggen, but it would seem as if they will, Sweden is going to have more chances created as we get towards the second half. Should be good.
Should be good indeed. Let's look at the other 3 matches going on that will be taking place later today. The Netherlands, again, you see, currently leading the group as things stand. As we wait for that graphic to change and get ready for the other 3 matches we have coming throughout the tournament. Of course, there's our other match tonight, which is Tunisia versus Japan. That's the other match in this group, and we might as well start for it, being that it is on the network and being that it's the one that's on the screen. This feels like a straightforward 3 points for Japan. Tunisia, a team in crisis at the present time.
Yeah, they've got a lot going on. And Japan, who came from behind twice to equalize against Netherlands last Sunday, showed a lot of the heart that they showed in the last couple of World Cups, Japan. So, yes, there are times where when you think you have it all figured out, you really don't. But it does feel as if we have this one pegged. Japan by name your number.
The other 2 matches tonight are also in the same group. They're in Group E. Let's start with Germany. Looked pretty good. Looked good against Curacao, scoring 7. Of course, trying to make it back to the knockout stages after not making it in the last 2 World Cups. They play Ivory Coast tonight. This will be a good test for the Germans. Ivory Coast coming off that 1-0 win against Ecuador.
Yeah, Germany able to grow into this tournament at a good progression, right? You get Curacao in the opener, then you get a little bit tougher with Côte d'Ivoire, then you get a little bit tougher with Ecuador. It's really worked out well for Germany the way the schedule has. This will be an interesting one tonight. Côte d'Ivoire, as you mentioned, getting that very late winner from Amad Diallo against Ecuador. What was that, Sunday up in Philadelphia? So we'll see what this game turns into. Germany, of course, the decided favorites in this game, and to win every game in this group, you would think, for a nation that, of course, has been stunned over the last 2 World Cups, being left out in the group stage.
You see the standings. Germany and Ivory Coast, the two winners from the first round of matches in Group E. How about the 2 teams that lost in Group E? It's a little CONMEBOL versus CONCACAF as Ecuador take on Curacao.
Yeah, and Curacao had their moment here in Houston last Sunday, scoring their first ever World Cup goal and doing it against the Giants from Germany, and then nothing else went well before or after that as they lost 7-1. You see that goal difference is way down there. Obviously, they're outmatched again today, maybe not to the point of 7-1, but they are outmatched again today against an Ecuador team that is going to have to do their job. And what I mean by that is everyone expects them to win 3-4, maybe even 5-0. They've got to do that job because goal difference, as we know, plays such a major role in tiebreakers. So they need to not only get the 3 points today, they need to get 3 goals or more.
Is your Saturday, June 20th at the World Cup. We have a special guest now joining us, fresh off his celebratory, taking selfies with the mayor and the governor in the middle, and Jalen Brunson in the middle of the New York City parade. It's our good friend, the one and only Pierre Moss. Pierre, welcome to our World Cup studio show. How are you, partner?
I'm doing so very well. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
We are living large. We are loving this World Cup life. And that's the question I want to ask you, Pierre. What are your thoughts on the World Cup so far as we're a little more than a week into this?
Been very exciting. Been a lot of goals, especially if you're Germany for sure. But that was pretty much expected what they did in Curacao. I'm liking this Netherlands-Sweden game, to be honest. Sweden's got to change up something. They really do, because what they're doing now is simply not working. It really isn't. And they got to find Brian Brobby. And I think they may have to double team him every single chance they get, because he's destroying their back line right now.
Pierre, thoughts on the United States into the round of 32, 2 wins. Potch has the red, white, and blue looking pretty legit.
Love what they're doing. And they've already won their group because of results from last night. So that means they're going to get to stay on the West Coast as long as they stay in the tournament for a good while now. I mean, that has to be an advantage for the U.S. and not a whole bunch of travel with those West Coast spots either. They could do something big in this World Cup. They're really good.
Indeed, they could. I think I read somewhere they wouldn't have to leave the West Coast until like the semifinals, which is in Arlington, I believe is what I read correctly. Any questions for the special guest in the gallery?
Oh no, you two keep going. I love to hear Pierre's thoughts. So.
Oh man, see, I'm not a question. I was trying to be nice with the question. That was more of a demand, not a question.
I love to hear Pierre's thoughts on everything, but especially this World Cup, because we haven't had you on, Pierre. You talk about the U.S. getting to stay out west. They'll be in Northern California for their round of 32 game, as we talked about. And we have also mentioned so much during this World Cup, Pierre, about how important winning your group is, because if you win your group, especially in the U.S.'s case, you get a third-place team in that round of 32 games. So this is why people said it was quarterfinals or bust for this U.S. team. Now they're making people believe, or at least a lot of people believe, that they can do that and maybe more. Are you a part of that belief?
I am. I mean, by the way they're playing, especially with Pulisic not even playing the second game, he's not going to play this third group stage game. There's no need for him to. They're going to have a fresh Christian Pulisic for that round 32 game. I expect the U.S. to keep this thing going. I really do.
What else have you observed throughout this World Cup that you have enjoyed? Because I'll just say, I gotta say, of my time watching the World Cup, I think one of my favorite days that I've ever experienced was this past Tuesday, seeing Mbappe score twice, Haaland score twice, and then Messi go right after the both of them and one-up them and score a hat trick. Superstars shined bright on Tuesday.
They really did. And really, that's what you want to see in a tournament like this. You want to see the superstars do their thing. And, they're definitely doing their thing without question. And just what I like about this World Cup too is how some of the underdogs have played. How some of the underdogs have stood up to some of these favorites and said, "Listen, it's not going to be an easy win for you." And in some cases, it's not going to be an easy draw for you either. So I really like what some of the underdogs have done. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep that going as we move through the group stage.
Indeed. That is going to be the question. I want to get your thoughts. I do have a few other questions that come to mind. So we've talked about the superstars. Your thoughts on England? They're a needle mover. Love them, hate them, or whatever. Everybody wants to talk about them. Plus, we have an Englishman that works behind the scenes with us. Good win over Croatia. Defense was a little bit suspect at times, but they got the 4-2 win. And how far do you think the Three Lions can go here?
If they play like they played defensively against Croatia, not very far. But if they clean up defensively and can still get that same or similar offensive production, they can do something in this tournament. They can do something big. But they got to clean up defensively. They have to.
Yeah, JT was about to JT and Pierre's friendship was about to end right there on the spot. Pierre stayed face. Portugal was an interesting team. There's a lot of chaos. Ronaldo, Martinez, whatever. What's your take on that whole mess?
It is a mess. It is a mess. But I think Portugal's talented enough to get it turned around. But they need to do it very quickly. They really do. There's way too much conversation surrounding Cristiano Ronaldo right now. That conversation needs to die down. And it'll only die down one way. That's winning.
I want to ask you, through a couple of match days, because I don't think we asked you, who was your pick to win the World Cup?
Honestly, my pick was France.
You were okay. All right. Through now some teams have played 2 matches, some have still played just 1. Who do you like as a potential sleeper?
Honestly, Ivory Coast. I like Ivory Coast as a potential sleeper. I really do. This will not be an easy game for Germany today. It won't. The Ivory Coast team has got a lot of talent on it. Yes, they don't have the names of the past, such as Didier Drogba and others, but still a very, very talented team, and they're going to play Germany very aggressive. It's interesting to see how Germany can respond to that, but Ivory Coast will be my sleeper.
That's not a bad pick. Pierre, obviously, everybody, we're all except JT American, but of course, would be remiss. There are 2 other co-hosts, 2 other teams co-hosting it, helping host this thing. Mexico into the round of 32. Canada all but assured after what they did against Qatar. Your thoughts on the other 2 host nations in this tournament, Mexico and Canada? What have you seen so far, and how far do you think they can go?
I gotta be honest, I'm not surprised by either one of those squads getting through to the round of 32. I think they were expected to get through round 32, and I think it would have been just a major disappointment had they had not done that. But I mean, what a huge advantage having a lot of your games in your homeland. It's a huge advantage to start off the World Cup, and I'm looking forward to seeing how far those 2 teams can go. And of course, with the U.S. and Mexico being rivals, no doubt there's already bets being placed on which nation can go further.
And Brendan Sorsby, I'm sure, is right at the heart of it. Pierre, we thank you for your time, as always. And as always, and enjoy the rest of this match and the rest of the tournament, my friend. Hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate y'all. And Matthew, quick note. Just check your text messages right quick when you get your chance.
All right. That's the great Pierre Moss. Matthew Owens, we bring it back to you, and you'll have news of a halftime substitute made by Ronald Koeman. Or will he? I guess not. I probably need to check my messages. All right. Well, Matthew is not with us, so JT or me will. I can't see the numbers, so JT probably would be better suited to do the commentary than me, but we'll send you to JT for some commentary while Matthew sorts his issues out.
So the second half underway in Houston. And this could be a very explosive second half here as Sweden on the ball played so well on the attack towards the end of that first half, and Nygren tried to thread a ball through towards the top of the box, got deflected away from him by Tiani Reinders. He got a foul and perhaps, oh yes, pretty hard foul given by Jesper Karlstrom. By the way, big thank you to Pierre for hopping in at halftime. Great to hear from Pierre as always. And the confirmation on the world feed here about how Sweden were offside just marginally on that set-piece goal that got scrubbed off. Halftime substitution, as you see, confirmation there of Daniel Malin coming off to be replaced by Crescencio Somerville, who scored against Japan. He had the goal that made it 2-1. So he is back on as here come the Dutch, and a ball served into the penalty area. The clearance attempt went straight up into the air. Finally, Bernhardsson is able to get it out. Netherlands will start again. They attack from our right to our left here in this second half. Here they come up the right-hand side. Played to the top right corner of the penalty area. Good spin move by Somerville. He lays it off, and the ball sent towards the face of goal, and it's turned in. Cody Gakpo has made it 3-0. And the Dutch start the second half just as they started the first half with a magnificent, explosive start. Denzel Dumfries with the ball turned across the face of goal, looking for the back post. Brian Brobby, who scored the first two goals, was going for it right up the middle. He missed it. Cody Gakpo did not. And Gakpo, who had two, I make that 3 in the last World Cup, has one here, 3-0. And the Orange Army exhilarated over that. Talked about how Sweden went into halftime with a lot of forward rolling momentum. Well, Holland has just taken that away from them there. So it's Gakpo, 2 minutes into the second half to make it 3. And that has really put Sweden behind here. Ball rolling towards the near corner flag and gone out for a goal kick for Netherlands. Verbruggen lays it out up the right-hand side. And the Dutch will start again. JT just sent a message behind the scenes. Houston is going to party like it's never partied before. with the Dutch, there's no doubt about it. So Gakpo gets in on the fun. Brobby was just that close to a hat trick. But Gakpo got the final touch at the back post. And now here come Netherlands with it again. Van de Ven sends it up the left-hand side. It's neatly played to Gakpo, approaching the penalty area right up the middle. His right-footed shot scuffed into the ground, and it bounces right into the reach of Nordfeldt. They have looked so much sharper overall from start to present than they did in the first 50 minutes and change against Japan on Sunday. Here's Ayari playing it back to Lindelof on the left-hand side. At the halfway line, the return comes from Ayari. Looks out to his right, now takes a couple of steps forward up the middle. He'll lay it off for Isak Hien. Plays at Atalanta. Up the near side. On for Bernhardsson, who played it inside right channel, galloping forward with it. And turning across in is Ayari towards no one in particular. Leaks out on the far side. Gudmundsson tried to get back to it. It's knocked off his boot. Now to play on the far side. It'll be a Sweden throw. And Sweden forced the Dutch goalkeeper Bart Verbruggen into 4 saves in that first half. Sweden back on the ball. Isak quickly nudges it back towards the perimeter. Handled by Ayari. Out to his left for Jesper Karlstrom. Karlstrom on back to Lindelof. Then into the top of the circle, Hien. Looks out to his right. Now plays it back left. You never know with this game. If Sweden could just get one here with still a half hour or so to get 2 more. Out on the right-hand side, Bernhardsson. Right of the penalty area, Bernhardsson's ball in. Good header defensively by Von Hecke. Top of the box. Lagerbielke tried to trickle it in. Up for grabs and Van Dijk heads it out of play on the near side. Be a Sweden throw from the right of the penalty area. Gudmundsson is going to once again go as far back as he can to throw it in high and hard towards the edge of the 6-yard box. A flick by Hien out to the top of the box for a shot that was blocked. And it's fizzed through the penalty area and out beyond Gudmundsson. Again, Sweden just that little bit off. Taking the ball away, though, in the midfield after a quick restart from the Dutch. Nygren flares out to his left, leaves it in the circle for Ayari. Ayari steps to his right, hands it off to his left. Lindelof sends it up the middle. Isak with a one-touch feed to his outside. Gyökeres couldn't get to it. Netherlands away with it, and Gudmundsson commits a foul on the far side, and he's shown a yellow card as he fouled Crescencio Somerville. So yellow card to Gabriel Gudmundsson, a 27-year-old that plays in England at Leeds. He's been led to a yellow card right there. Free kick for the Dutch in their own half. Play restarts quickly. 3-0, as you see, top of your picture. Netherlands in front. Brian Brobby had 2 in the first half, and in the first half, and in the second minute of the second half, Cody Gakpo had 1. Here's a long ball over the top, right up the middle, defended away by the Swedes. Karlstrom lays it back to Lindelof. Sweden in their own penalty area here, trying to get forward. Again, they go over the top, right up the middle. Von Hecke with a defensive header, but it's dropped to the number 21, Bernhardsson, in towards the penalty area to his right. On his left foot, switches back to his right, getting onside is Isak to receive a pass, and Isak, well, just fumbled it as he was trying to scoop it towards the top of the box. It just rolled right off his boot, taken away by De Jong, and now the Dutch are flowing forward here, and they've got numbers. Off the left-hand side, Cody Gakpo into the area, gets to his right foot, takes a shot at the near post, and scores again! Cody Gakpo! With his second goal in the first 9 minutes of the second half, and the Netherlands are up by 4! A landslide in Houston! Two quick ones in the first half from Brobby. 2 quick ones in the second half from Gakpo. Put it all together, and it's Dutch delight. 4-0. And rolling. Houston, we have liftoff. And it's all bright orange. Well, what a hit that is from Cody Gakpo. getting that onto his right foot, and then he pins it, beating Nordfeldt on his near post. And we thought that Sweden could play their way back into the game in this second half. Netherlands not allowing them to do that. And after that, Graham Potter looks like he's going to make a couple of changes here, maybe even 3. Nygren and Karlstrom come off. So too does Bernhardsson. And those 3 are replaced by Lucas Bergvall, Anthony Elanga. We'll get the confirmation of all the subs here in just a moment. As play restarts, Sweden on the ball. And down by 4. Lucas Bergvall, who just came on, handles the ball in the midfield. Plays at Tottenham. Got plenty of players on this Sweden team that does play in England. You see confirmation of one substitution there. Besfort Zanelli to replace Jesper Karlstrom. Bergvall on for Nygren. As Sweden try to get forward here, and here is Bergvall, edge of the penalty area, right of the D, hands it off, controlled and shot towards goal and just high by Ayari, who has once again had a go that he's just missed marginally, and the Swedish crowd will applaud him for the effort. There's that third and final substitution, Anthony Elanga, coming on to replace Alexander Bernhardsson. Dutch start from the back again. And up the middle they come, and here is Gakpo, coming off his 4th and 5th career World Cup goals, charging right up the middle, trying to get back Bergvall. Gakpo gives it up, edge of the D, it's Brabi, lays it off to his right, long-range attempt is fizzed high and over the crossbar. That was Gravenberch having a go. Sweden survived that. Goal kick taken by Nordfeldt. Lagerbielke, who thought he had a goal late first half to get Sweden in the game, was taken off as they were marginally offside on the free kick delivery. And perhaps that is something that has really been a letdown for Sweden emotionally. Here come the Dutch on the ball again. Gakpo put it into the circle. Reinders dropped it back for Van Dijk. He'll forward it up the far right side. The Dutch aren't done attacking. Perhaps they're not done scoring either. Inside right channel. It's Reinders. Tiani Reinders leaves it on the far flank. Now they'll recycle here. Frankie de Jong tried to play it up the middle in the direction of Reinders. It's taken away, and here comes Sweden on the attack. And right up the middle, it's been rolled through nicely for Anthony Lenga. And Elanga's in, and with the left foot, Elanga into the area, scores! Anthony Elanga gets one back for Sweden. And that's been coming for the Swedes. Truly has been. They deserve at least a goal out of this. They deserve probably a better result than what they're going to get. But that's a wonderfully played ball right up the middle to Anthony Elanga. Great ball by Isak. Connects with Elanga. Took one touch to get into the penalty area with 3 Dutch defenders trying to get to him. They could not. And Elanga with the left foot swings through it. Beats Verbruggen, and Sweden get a goal. But still trail 4-1. But they have about a half hour still to go here. Suppose we've seen crazier things. Wasn't too terribly long ago on this channel. Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. Vegas led 4-0. Carolina scored 4 unanswered in the third period. Double substitution made here from the Netherlands and Ronald Koeman. It's Toon Koopmeiners to replace Frankie de Jong. as play has restarted, and also Reinders comes off for Hustil, and Sweden with a takeaway in the midfield here. They've taken the ball away, and it's Isak threading it forward towards Alenga again, who could not control it from the edge of the D, this time with his right foot, and it rolls in on Verbruggen. It's the 7th international goal for Anthony Alenga. Scored 2 goals in qualifying. That is his first career World Cup goal. Dutch from the back will play it forward. This is the attacking game we thought we would see. Here's Hustil, just in for the Netherlands, playing it forward. Getting caught up amidst a couple of defenders was Gakpo. Till had to play it back. Van de Ven recycles. Van Dijk out to his right. Van Hecke up the right-hand side. The Dutch, as I said just a moment ago, before that Sweden goal, where they got it in transition, said that the Dutch might not be done attacking and they don't want to be done scoring goals. Perhaps they do need to just calm the aggression meter down here just to keep Sweden from getting back into the game. Sweden's won the ball back, and Alenga puts it up the inside right channel. Zanelli back for Alenga, right of the area. His ball served in, and it's Van Hecke who spears it out of play away from the target, Isak. It'll be a corner. And you do just get the sense here from the way Sweden are presenting themselves, their body language. They don't believe this game is quite over yet, even down 4, as they were a moment ago. Got a corner here from the near flag, a set-piece chance. They've already put one in the back of the net on a set piece that they just didn't keep on the board. It's Ayari who served that ball in that Lagerbielke put in earlier. He'll take this corner from the near flag, arm in the air. Right-footed delivery, edge of the 6-yard box. The towering Van Dijk got a header up to it to get it to the edge of the area, where it was then headed well wide of goal by Zanelli. Be a goal kick. As Seth Eaves told you at halftime, 3 more games on the docket. Germany and Côte d'Ivoire. Kickoff at just after 4 p.m. Eastern Time from Toronto. Then at 8 o'clock tonight, Ecuador and Curacao from Kansas City. And then on the channel tonight at midnight, we'll have Japan and Tunisia in Guadalupe, as the Netherlands are forging forward here with Dumfries by the far flag. Turns it back. The Dutch in the final third here played square for Van de Ven, who dropped it back for Van Dijk. Van Dijk flares it up the left-hand side. Ball sent in towards the penalty area. It found Brobby from Gakpo, but Brobby has lifted it well high and perhaps even wide of frame. But are they saying that it went off of a royal blue shirt last? This may turn into a corner, and it is a Sweden corner. So here's the Dutch. Koopmeiners. Right arm in the air. Left-footed delivery, an outswinger. It was in the direction of Van Hecke. Comes all the way outside of the penalty area. Gravenberch will send it this way. Koopmeiners, who had that unbelievable assist very deep into stoppage time in the quarterfinal 4 years ago against Argentina. Sails it out of play on the far side on a ball in that was not well measured. It'll be a Sweden throw. Well, 4-1, the scoreline as you see. It has been a very enticing game. The Dutch have taken all of their opportunities. Sweden have had chances at times in this game that they just haven't been clinical enough with. Here come Netherlands up the near side. Hustil lifts it up the left-hand side for Gakpo, who was chopped down by Lagerbielke. Yeah, throw on the near side. Good sliding tackle from Lagerbielke. Van de Ven will toss in. Does so to the left of the penalty area towards Brobby, who was shouldered into by Hien. It's a foul on Brobby, the Dutchman that scored the first 2 goals, one in the 5th and one in the 17th minutes. Here's Sweden getting play restarted quickly. And Iari wants to forward it. He does. Lagerbielke has it. Halfway line near side. Crosses into the Dutch half. Hands it for Bergvall. Return for Lagerbielke. A drop for Hien. Sweden, as I said, carrying themselves the last few minutes as if they don't believe this game is quite over yet, which is nice to see. Isak rolls it into the inside right channel, deflected away from Alanga. Bergvall has held it in Swedish possession. A drop for Lagerbielke. Near touchline, Isak. Isak from the right of the penalty area between 2 defenders. Hands it on for Alanga. The return for Isak to the end line on his left foot. He holds. Now crosses behind anyone that was in front in blue. Gudmundsson can't run it down. Dutch will attempt to clear. They will, with Somerville up the far side. A wrestling match breaks out on the touchline in search of the ball between Till and Iari. It'll be a throw-in for Netherlands. Thrown in for Koopmeiners. On bat for Van Hecke. Given to Verbruggen. And Verbruggen will send it ahead again. Dutch from our right to our left. Orange uniforms with the dark numbers and black shorts. Here's Van Dijk, 2-time Premier League champion with Liverpool. Splits 2 defenders with the pass and an over the top ball for Brobby into the area from the right. Has to fade out wide from Hien, and now the flag finally goes up on the far side to confirm that Brobby was offside. And Sweden will start again. Tale of 2 totally different games for Sweden. You look at their first and look at this one. 5-1 winners to now 4-1 down. Still about 23 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Here's Lagerbielke up the right-hand side. Shifts it to Alanga. Alanga up this right channel for Bergvall, then returns it for Alanga on an overlap. Here he is to the end line, does well to get around Van de Ven, sends it across, and once again Van Hecke, who's been terrific defensively for the Dutch today with the thundering header out on the near side. It'll be a Sweden throw. He can, between he and Van Dijk, they can erase a lot of mistakes. The back line of that Dutch defense. Here at the top of the circle, Lindelof spears it towards the middle. Isak flipped it up in the air. It's headed down by Iari. It comes to the edge of the D. Isak with 2 Dutch defenders around him. Tried a little flick for Zanelli. Cleared back away as far as Bergvall. Bergvall steps to his right. Passes back to his left. Rolled to the inside left channel. Here's Isak again. Alexander Isak plays catch with Gyökeres, now lays it out wide on the left-hand side. Gudmundsson cuts in, crosses, all the way to the back post across the face of goal. No one in blue is there to get a decisive touch. It's gone out. That'll lead to our hydration break here in the second half. Comes just shy of the 70-minute mark. Netherlands 4, Sweden 1, as we head down the stretch in Houston. And JT, what's few thoughts from you from what we've seen so far here in H-Town today?
A very busy 5 to 10 minutes a couple of moments ago.
Yes.
When all the subs, all the goals and everything was going in on the graphic department. But here we are. And of course, a update on the 3rd place standings, because Netherlands were 3rd. With this performance, they are no longer.
They are no longer.
Japan is 3rd in the group. They are still 3rd in the 3rd place ranking. There you go. Look at that. But yeah, it's been a very good performance from the Netherlands, and well, uh, I hope Houston are ready for the Dutch after full time.
We will see if they are indeed ready.
Boston were ready for the Scots. Let's see if Houston are ready for the Dutch.
Yeah, exactly right.
I can't wait to see Scottish tourism boom after this World Cup.
Oh, it's going to be incredible.
And then all of the Americans coming over to the real Scotland because they think it's going to be the exact same. And then as soon as they get over to Scotland, they'll realise that it's completely different to what they experienced in Boston.
Houston, of course, the fourth most populous city in the United States, behind only New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. Rain coming into the Houston area today as the day goes on, so they might not party
big
a lot
states
outside.
mean big cities, Matthew.
Well, indeed, yes. So they might not be doing a lot of partying outside later today, but
it's the Dutch. I think they'll be okay.
I assume they'll find some place, yes.
A little
Hello.
a little rain will not put off the Dutch.
No, you wouldn't think so.
Hello.
Seth Eaves returning with us. They stay in this general area. They played in Dallas in their opener against Japan. They'll go to Kansas City next Thursday for their group finale against Tunisia, where they'll be favored by many, many goals. As Dutch are set to make another change and bring on the all-time leading goal scorer in Netherlands history, Memphis Depay, replaces Brian Brobby, who had the first 2 goals in the first half. As play restarts out of this second half hydration break. And you see confirmation of the Depay substitution checking on for Brobby. Depay, no one has scored more goals in a Netherlands shirt than Memphis, with 55 in his career. And 3 of them.
Work from JT. We love to see it.
We love to see it. 3 career World Cup goals for Memphis Depay. 2 in 2014.
JT is goated.
Yeah, oh, of course. Here's Sweden in the midfield on the ball with Bergvall sending it forward. And here come the royal blue shirts up the middle, but a couple of bodies get tangled up, and down to the deck goes Ayari, who is fouled. Possession has, we're being told by the World Feed, now dead even, 45% for each team, which is a reversal of what the majority of the first half was. Here's a free kick for Sweden. It'll be straight away, between 35 and 40 yards from goal here. Ball is served in, feathered towards the left-hand side. Defensive header down and away by the Dutch defense.
Hold on.
Yes?
Did the World Feed actually show it as 45% each?
Yep, 45% for each team and 10 in contest.
Okay, noted.
It's a long throw that Sweden's been trying all day long. Nudged outside the area. Bergvall shapes it left to the penalty area. Comes to Isak, who takes on Von Hecke, who's been a brick wall today. Played back, it goes for Zanelli. Zanelli serves it in, looking for one of those big frame bodies that Sweden has. But Dutch has big bodies as well back there. Defensive header is out, and it's a foul going against Sweden.
Because last time I checked, possession normally adds up to 100%.
Yes, indeed.
45 times 2, last time I checked, does not add up to 100%.
Indeed.
But remember JT analytics.
Yes.
Which is why we create terms such as in contest, the MENA consification of our sports world.
If we're looking at overall at the moment, I've got it Dutch 54 to Sweden 46.
Very good. Thank you for that. Gakpo gave
which
it
does add up to 100.
It does indeed. Gakpo gave it to Till, top left corner of the box. He had it ripped away. Yorkerez got it forward in the direction of Ayari, stripped off his boot. Here come the Dutch forward as we approach the final quarter of an hour. There's a silly challenge in the midfield. as Gravenberesh had his back of his shirt grabbed by Ayari, and he's just been given a yellow card.
Okay, may I interject for a split second?
All right.
I swear, and this is not me getting mad at. This is me admitting, I guess, that I've said it wrong. I always thought it was Gravenberch or Gravenberch. I did not know it was Gravenberch. I did not realize that was how you pronounce his name.
I have also gotten a text from Pierre about this. He is saying that it's Gravenberch. I get all my pronunciations from the Transfer Market website. So if they're wrong, I'm going to be wrong. So I go off of them, and sometimes they have the actual players speak their names into it. Sometimes it's just someone that covers the teams. But yes, if I'm wrong,
sounds legit. If I said it wrong, then I've said it wrong. I just was curious.
Here's Somerville.
I was going to call him Ryan.
Yeah, there we go. Here is Van Hecke, who's just been terrific today defensively. Lays it out to the left. Mickey Van de Ven, left of the penalty area. Handoff for Gakpo. The return comes for Van de Ven. He's in deep against the defense of Bergval. It's gone out for a goal kick. So, well, you don't need that when, indeed, Gravenberesh is not one of those four-letter words where you need that noise.
I didn't know I didn't know if that was like a beep, because I thought it was bleep. I thought that's bleep. So I thought beep was like when JB was like beep, but no, it wasn't.
No. Here's the Dutch on the
You
ball.
mother.
Koopminer sends it up the near side in the direction of Till, shielded away from the ball by Hien, and it's over the end line for what'll be another goal kick. Good job standing up there by Hien on Hoos Till, who was born in Zambia. Here's Bergval charging forward. He's got a lot of space, so he gallops ahead before he swings it forward for Isak, who got it on for Alenga, the Swedish goal scorer, right of the penalty area. Anthony Alenga's ball in, headed up in the air by Van Dijk, comes edge of the box. Isak hands it off. Bergval top right corner. Once again, it comes for Isak. Isak charges into the area from the right. His ball across, and there was, once again, an outstretched Van Hecke. It bounces up in the air near the penalty spot. Spoon-fed back out by Zanelli. It'll ricochet back to him, but there's a foul. So Van Hecke, once again, in the back there for the Dutch defensively. That time, didn't make the best of plays in the world, as we have seen him do all day.
Yeah, I'm having too much fun with the buttons now that I realize I have some of them.
Here's Van Hecke bleeding it forward up the far side. Gravenberesh sends it to the right-hand side. Dumfries looks for a ball in that's gone well over Somerville, I beg your pardon, with the cross in. And it'll be a goal kick. Well, you do really have to like some of the things you've seen from Sweden today. It has not been... This scoreline doesn't tell the full story for what they've been today, but defensively they've had many, many lapses. But they could have easily had more than the one goal they have, as they lackadaisically a bit play it at the back. Hien on back to Nordfeldt, who sent it up the far side. Scissor kicked out by Somerville. We have had a Swedish substitution. Taha Ali has come on to replace Yassine Ayari. Off the throw, and it comes back to Nordfeldt, who lifts it long up the right-hand side, headed down by Van de Ven. Loops on the left channel. Lager Bielka got it back in Swedish control. Dutch players were calling for a handball, none given. Isak spirals it up the left-hand side. Here comes the substitute Ali. Top left corner of the box. Hits the brakes, looks for options. Centered ball, Zanelli. Edge of the D now. Alexander Isak on his right foot tried to trickle it forward for Alenga. It took a deflection, erased out of there by Van de Ven. And out of play on the far side near the halfway line. Restart for Sweden. Bergvall now. Taken back by the Dutch. Here they come again. Oh, ball up the middle with Depay streaking forward. If Somerville could have just gotten it to him. Taken away by Bergvall. Up the right-hand side, Elanga. Inside right channel is Anthony Elanga. He goes right into the path of the backpedaling Van de Ven. Then Gakpo got taken down, clattered into Bergvall. That's a foul on Bergvall. Gakpo hopefully is okay.
Ugh.
10 minutes plus stoppage time left. One substitution remaining for each manager, Graham Potter and Ronald Koeman. And a yellow card given to Bergvall. Free kick taken by Van Dijk, played on back to Verbruggen, then Van Dijk again. They still look like they want to go forward and want to go for more goals if they can get them. Holland, here's Van Dijk from the left of the circle. Now he'll settle the pace a bit, like a captain is supposed to do in moments like this. Back to Koopmeiners. We'll never forget that Toon Koopmeiners assist on that incredible goal deep into stoppage time 4 years ago against Argentina. Here's a ball over the top on the left-hand side. Gakpo going for it. He was offside. Sweden will restart play. Back to the drawing board for Sweden. A big game coming up against Japan in Dallas next Thursday night to close out play in Group F, along with Netherlands and Tunisia and Kansas City. Netherlands going to soar to the top of the group here if this result holds, which it certainly looks like it will. Another foul going against the Dutch here, given by Michael Oliver, the match referee from England. And Sweden can restart play. Lagerbielke plays it all the way across to the left-hand side, handled there by Zanelli. On back to Hien. Hien this way for Lagerbielke, who again headed that goal that he thought made it 2-1 late in the first half, scrubbed out as they were marginally offside. Sweden get forward here, and Anthony Elanga has space on the inside right channel into the penalty area from the right. Ball served into the back post, missed his target, Ali. It's gone out for a Dutch throw. That's just that they've had great movement, finding seams and finding angles and getting in to dangerous and potential scoring areas, but it's just been that little bit at the end that they haven't gotten right today. Sweden could easily be, we could be looking at a 4-3 game right now if Sweden capitalized and were just a little bit more clinical on those opportunities. But the Dutch have taken their opportunities. Sweden have wasted some today. And that is, of course, in so many ways what determines these games. Throw in by Holland, intended for Hustil. Out of play on the far side. Dutch will throw in again here. Lovely colors on the pitch with the orange and the royal blue. Splattering of blue and yellow in the stands here in Houston, along with just a throng of orange as the Army have come out once again here. Sweden on the ball in the midfield. Elanga trying to turn one forward. Van Hecke got back defensively. He has been all day. It's sent out wide to the left-hand side. The substitute, Taha Ali. Top left corner of the box. Isak on goal. And punched away by Verbruggen. It'll be a corner. That's a terrific attempt by Isak. Verbruggen has been much better today than he was against Japan, where he made just one save. He's made 5 today. And that by Isak trying to curl it in. Good stop by the 23-year-old goaltender. Corner from the near flag. Elanga is over it. He'll send this in right-footed. Header straight up into the air from the Dutch defense. It comes to the edge of the D, and a left-footed shot is on goal from Zanelli, but easily controlled by Verbruggen. And Van Dijk is down. Trying to pick himself back up, helped up by Koopmeiners. It is interesting. This was the group that I think a lot of people were looking at to say the third-place team out of this group could be the most dangerous of the third-place teams, however it played out, whether that was Netherlands, Sweden, or Japan. Could be a very dangerous third-place team, perhaps, to get into the knockout round and create some chaos in the brand new round of 32. Michael Oliver is pointing upward at something, not really sure what we're looking at here. But eventually, Verbruggen's going to get play restarted here. As he does. Up the left-hand side and long. Header out of play by Gakpo. It'll be a Sweden throw-in. Lagerbielke takes it quickly. In for Hien. And up the near side, Lagerbielke once again. We'll play it back to Christopher Nordfeldt. Pressure coming from his right. He has to get rid of it. He does. Ball is headed back towards the penalty area and over the end line for a goal kick. Tomorrow on the channel, we've got the first ever NASCAR race at the base. Naval Base Coronado, the Anduril 250, comes your way at 4 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow on the channel. By the way, JT in the background. Yes, that is 4 p.m. Eastern Time because Green Flag is not until 4:30. We're not on for a 1-hour pre-race show. So 4 o'clock tomorrow, NASCAR takes to San Diego. The truck race last night was...
Check it again, Matthew.
A show. What was that?
Check the baseline again, Matthew.
I will. At the edge of the penalty area comes Alanga. Tried to trickle it in. Left-footed, deflected back to Verbruggen. They'll look at him go. 4 o'clock tomorrow. And San Diego.
In my defense, it was down on the chart as 3:30
Yes.
until we learnt the green flag time.
Absolutely right, yes.
I should probably change it on the other one as well,
That was,
which is now done.
yeah, the truck race last night was an experience just watching, but we've got JT here who called it. And, well...
The cautions were a mess.
Isak sends it off the left-hand side. Into the penalty area comes Ali on his left foot. He skitters forward and lifts it over the top of the bar. I'm not sure if he was trying to shoot it or cross it. Either way, it's out for a goal kick. We're in the anti-penultimate minute of the 90 here.
Here's a stat for you, Matthew.
Okay.
Netherlands, in this game, have become the 8th team to score over 100 goals in the FIFA World Cup history, joining Brazil, Germany, Argentina, France, Italy, Spain, and England.
Those are the names you would have expected to hear on that list.
But Netherlands are the only team who have got more than 100 goals in the FIFA World Cup, but are yet to win it.
Yes, people remind them all the time that they have yet to win this thing. He might be in for another goal. It's Somerville cutting right up the middle. He's into the penalty area with a right-footed hit, and he scored! It's 2 goals from 2 games for Crescencio Somerville! Putting the finishing touches on here for the Dutch. It is 5!
Five stars.
Somerville scored the goal to put them up 2-1 against Japan. That lead didn't hold. This lead will. He's put them up 5-1. And Sweden, for the positives that you can take from this game from Sweden, none of it has been defensively. Crescencio Somerville making Swede fans cry into their pillow tonight. Into the 90th. And it has been a delightful day for the Dutch. And it will be a delightful evening and night for the Dutch here in Houston, I'm sure. They'll head to Kansas City. Yeah, really.
Let the party begin.
Yes. They'll head to Kansas City for a Thursday game against Tunisia, where many people will expect them to repeat a scoreline like this. But off they go to the top of the group. Ronald Koeman's going to make his final change here. Noah Long has come on for Cody Gakpo. And Sweden control the ball as we are past the 90th minute. 5 have been added on.
I had 5 ready and raring to go. Thank you.
Bergvall gets chopped down in the midfield by Gravenberch. And Sweden will start again. Sweden going to have to fight through a lot here to try to be a third-place team, because this is that advances, because this is really a shot across the bow into their goal difference, obviously, as charging forward was Yorkerez, who's been very quiet today. His shot was blocked by Van Ecke. Out wide on the left comes Ali. Top left corner of the box, Ali for Gudmundsson, and his left-footed shot is easily grabbed by Verbruggen. Terrific performance here from the Netherlands. Back to the drawing board for Graham Potter and Sweden as we close in on wrapping this one up. Again, we're just over an hour or so away from kickoff of Germany and Côte d'Ivoire. That game coming up in Toronto. Ecuador and Curacao at 8 o'clock tonight in Kansas City. And then on the channel at midnight, Tunisia and Japan from Guadalupe. 2 of the 5 minutes that were added on have been played. Ball in possession of Sweden with Gabriel Gudmundsson. Plays it out. On the far side, it'll be a throw for the Netherlands. Of course, that game tonight between Japan and Tunisia. Hope you'll join us for that. The 1,000th football match in FIFA World Cup history. Sweden make their final substitution. Elliot Stroud checks in at the home of C.J. Stroud. Elliot Stroud is in for Sweden. As off the throw, ball popcorns around on the far side. Somerville comes away with it right at the penalty area. 2 Swedes around him, and he's thrown to ground by Zanelli there, and Somerville is down. By the way, Seth is on the call of that game tonight. Seth, do you have 1,000 candles to get on camera for that? I'll have a big cake. Crescencio hopefully is okay. As we wind this one down, last 90 seconds, unless they add more time to it for this Somerville injury time. There's no reason to add any more time to the end of it. Dutch fans are such a delight as Somerville has been taken off the field and the throw-in has restarted play here. 10 attempts at goal today from the Netherlands, 7 on goal, and only 2 saves from Christopher Nordfeldt. Sweden possess in the midfield. Alenga forwards it, deflected back to him from Yorkerez comes to the left of the penalty area. Ali tries to dance his way in. He's at the edge of the D, and it's knifed off his boot. They'll reload here with Bergvall. Bergvall inside right channel, cuts to the outside, hands it off. Yorkerez, the return for Bergvall took a deflection, but he gets it near touchline. If they can scrap out a goal here just to help their goal difference cause, they need it. Top right corner of the box, Lagerbielke in, defended up and away by Van Dijk. It'll be a corner for Sweden. Obviously, they're not going to get any kind of result from here, but again, if they can just cut down the goal difference by 1, could make all the difference in the world. From the near flag, it will be struck in, as we have completed the 5 minutes that were added on, as you see. Delivered left-footed, and a header on frame is stopped by Verbruggen. The header by Lagerbielke. And Bart Verbruggen diving out to his left, making the save. He's been terrific in goal today because there's been pockets of space where Sweden have put a lot of pressure on him. It's over in Houston. Full-time whistle blows from Michael Oliver. And it's the Netherlands with a 5-1 decision over Sweden today. And the Dutch will sail to the top of Group F. They lifted off from Houston very early. And boy, did they have a heck of an ascension today. Full time in Houston, Netherlands 5 and Sweden 1. And after some despair in Dallas from last week, after giving up 2 leads and being held to a 2-2 draw against Japan, it's happiness in Houston for Holland today. With a 5-1 victory, you see it there. 2 in the first half from Bravi. 2 quickly in the second half from Gakpo, and then in the 89th minute it was Crescencio Somerville with the exclamation mark. In the middle of all of that, Anthony Alenga did pull 1 back for Sweden. But this will not be a result that they would have expected from Sweden today. You see the updated Group F standings. There is how we sit. Netherlands on top of the group on 4 points and now a goal difference of +4. Sweden stay on 3 points, but that goal difference that they had, a +4, completely erased. Japan and Tunisia play later tonight. And we'll try to get word from Seth Eaves whether he'll have 1,000 candles on standby for that. You see the rest of the group standings.
What do you mean by that?
Tonight, between Japan and Tunisia, the 1,000th.
Oh, that's right. I did see that.
World Cup match.
That's right. I was going to tell you all that, and then I got the call to help. Then I got the call to do something because no one around here listens to me when I say that I'm going to be on. But anyway, yeah, should be fun. Very much looking forward to that. Happy birthday, happy 1,000th birthday World Cup. Oh, well, 1,000 matches at least. Should be a lot of fun. But Matthew, all about the Netherlands today. They look more like the Dutch that you expect them to look like. Boy, were they rampant today.
Yeah, you see the current rankings of third-place teams as well. And Netherlands entered the day as a third-place team. They're no longer on that screen. And the top 8 third-place teams will advance. As you see, later tonight at midnight Eastern, Tunisia and Japan in that matchup in Guadalupe, Mexico. And we talked about Tunisia being in shambles. Japan will look to try to take advantage of that. Tomorrow on the channel, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the aforementioned Anduril 250 for NASCAR's Race on the Base at Naval Base Coronado in San Diego, California. We'll have that for you again at 4 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Should be a spectacle for sure. Also tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, New Zealand and Egypt. You had New Zealand in their opener. Seth, what'd you think about them?
Thought they showed a lot of spirit, and they fought very well against Iran, and could have won that match, to be honest. So I'll be interested to see what they do against Egypt.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. what they have in store. Then you have France and Iraq, as you've seen, Monday, and also Monday night, Norway and Senegal, with a kickoff of just after 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So, that wraps it up for us from Houston. 5-1, the full-time score. Netherlands all over Sweden today. We will be back with you late night World Cup with a lot of candles on a cake for Japan and Tunisia. We'll see you there. What is that? 9 hours from now. Good Lord. Rest up. And we'll see you tomorrow as well. For everyone here, for Seth, JT, Matthew Owens, signing off from Houston, Netherlands.